There are different ways to tell a story. You can start a story from the beginning, middle, or even the end and tell it backwards. You can even jump right into a story without, first of all, introducing your characters or letting the audience know what the story is about. But will that make sense to your audience? The goal of a storyteller is to captivate his audience, not confuse them. And for a story to captivate and make sense to an audience, it must be well arranged, well told, and the audience must know who and what the story is about. This is where screenplay structure comes in. Screenplay structure is the blueprint you use to build your story. It divides your story into 3 parts: Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. Act 1 is the beginning / setup, where you introduce your characters and expose their world to the audience. Act 2 is the middle / confrontation, where the main story is told and where your protagonist faces and fights obstacles that tries to stop him from achieving his goals. Act 3 is the end / resolution, and where the story is resolved one way or another. Having a good knowledge of the screenplay structure is important. It holds your story together and helps you to stay focused and not lose sight of your plot as your story evolves. It shows you where some certain actions should fall in your screenplay and helps you hold audience's attention. Before we dive into it, let's talk about story and plot. What is a story? Story is a series of events arranged in chronological or non-chronological order that forms your screenplay. What is a plot? The course of a story that consists of series of dramatic events that slowly unfolds, sometimes unexpectedly, as the story progresses. Plots are not set in stones. They can change as your story progresses. As you introduce conflicts and force your characters to make tough decisions that will force them out of their comfort zones, your characters will grow, and sometimes they will move in directions you do not expect and force you to change your plot. If you are not careful, this is where you will start losing track of your story. To keep a story interesting, the plot has to connect logically so we can follow the journey and see how everything ties together at the end. Having a good knowledge of screenplay structure will help you to organize your narrative into a coherent arc and avoid a chaotic sequence of events. There are different types of screenplay structure. Choose the one that works best for the kind of story you plan to tell. It is not a must that your plot points, climax, inciting incidents, etc. should fall exactly on certain pages. No. Structure is supposed to be flexible. If it is not, then all the stories we use it to tell will look alike. It is your story that determines how you use the structure. Structure doesn't determine how you tell your story.